is our national debt. You deserve the truth. So let's start with the facts. Our national debt is high, too high. And the problem is getting worse, not better. We are now $31 trillion in debt. That is more than the size of the entire American economy, 20% more. Our debt is now a greater burden than it has been at any time since World War II. If we continue down this path, in the next 10 years, we will spend over $8 trillion just on interest. That's more than the entire federal budget this year by a lot. That is neither affordable nor sustainable. When debt is too high, inflation is the result. That is where we are today. Inflation has exploded. Mortgage rates have doubled. Working Americans, after inflation and taxes, have gotten a pay cut. And eggs, a staple of America's breakfast, have gone from a cheap source of protein to a luxury good. Like many Americans, you may be wondering, how did we get here? Yes, our nation has taken on debt for most of its history, but the last few years have been different. Washington fell for a financial fad, a fiscal fraud, that the national debt doesn't matter, that money can always be created out of thin air to pay for it, and that the solution to higher prices is higher taxes. For years, we've watched as Democrats in Congress spent your hard-earned tax dollars like the dollars were imaginary. Thanks to 4 years of runaway spending by the Democrats, they increased annual discretionary spending by $400 billion. That's a 30% increase in just 4 years. They took our nation's credit card, spent like crazy, and left us in deep debt. But not once did they seek or accept any responsibility. Instead, they doubled down. In 2021, Democrats passed the largest debt limit increase in American history. Then they maxed our nation's credit cards again just 13 months later. Now, President Biden wants Congress to raise the debt limit yet again, without a single sensible change to how government spends your hard-earned money. None. Does that sound responsible to you? Now, if you had teenagers and they spent past the limit on a credit card, yes, you pay for it. But, now this is important, you don't allow their bad spending habits to continue. You change their behavior so it never happens again. You teach them to be sensible, responsible, and accountable adults. Well, I think I speak for most Americans when I say it's time for Washington to change its behavior and act like adults. 90 days ago, the American people chose to give Republicans power in the House of Representatives because we are committed to finding solutions that curb inflation. At its source, wasteful Washington spending. We are already changing the behavior of this government. The runaway spending of the last few years, it's over. Now we must return Washington to a basic truth. Debt matters. The debt limit is one of the most important opportunities Congress has to change course. How will we respond to determine what happens to our children and to their children in coming years and decades? The choice is clear. We can have reckless spending, or we can have responsibility. We cannot have both. We can leave our children a future with higher inflation, higher interest rates, and crushing debt, or we can leave them free to pursue happiness as God intended. What Americans want and what Republicans are fighting for is a responsible debt limit increase that puts us on a path towards a healthier economy. We will curb wasteful Washington spending to reduce inflation and return our government to fiscal sanity. We will preserve our ability to defend this nation against threats abroad. Cuts to Medicare and Social Security, they are off the table.
Y'all hear that? So we hold Kevin McCarthy accountable for what he just said. Medicare and Social Security is off the table. So why is Joe Biden still running around here saying they gonna cut Medicare and Social Security? It's a big game, y'all, in Congress, y'all. It's a game. It's you give me this, I give you that. You don't give me this, you're not getting that. Foolishness, childish shit, man. That's what Kev talking about. Kev there to try to straighten out this fucking debt that the American people, like I said, the American people tax hard-earned tax dollars are being wasted, man. Being wasted, y'all. Let's go. But y'all heard him say Social Security and Medicare is off the table, so we're going to hold him accountable with that. And we're going to listen to Joe Biden. Poor slow Joe Biden, sleepy Biden, confused man. Should be in a fucking nursing home or some shit like that. I know he wear, what's those, pull-ups and shit. I know he wear pull-ups. Talking about Joe Biden. Let's go.
Defaulting on our debt is not an option, but neither is a future of higher taxes, higher interest rates, and an economy that doesn't work for working Americans. Debt limit debates have been used for nearly every successful attempt to reform federal spending in living history. Why? Because the problem only gets solved when both parties come to the table. But don't just take my word for it. Here's what then Vice President Biden said when he negotiated a debt limit increase with House Republicans in 2011. You can't govern without negotiating, he said. Those are his words. That's what his sensible standard. And House Republicans are following it now. Mr. President, it's time to get to work. Surely we both agree that the national debt is too high. Surely we both agree that inflation hurts American families. Surely we can trim waste and streamline programs to make them both stronger and more efficient. So let's do this. As a senator, you voted against raising the debt ceiling, Mr. President. To quote your words, your vote in 2004 was a protest of the policies that have brought us to a point and a demand that we change course. We need a different approach. No drawing lines in the sand or saying it's my way or the highway. No policy gimmicks or political games. But most of all, no blank checks for runaway spending. Just sensible, responsible solutions to our growing national debt. Now, here are mine. First, we will continue to sit down and negotiate, just as President Biden did in the past. Second, we must commit to finding common ground on a responsible debt limit increase. Finding compromise is exactly how governing in America is supposed to work, and exactly what the American people voted for just 3 months ago. Third, we must move towards a balanced budget and insist on genuine accountability for every dollar we spend. Future generations deserve nothing less. A responsible debt limit increase that begins to eliminate wasteful Washington spending and puts us on a path towards a balanced budget is not only the right place to start, it's the only place to start. My fellow Americans, I cannot stand still in the face of a growing national debt and diminishing economic opportunities. My colleagues and I in Congress were elected at this moment in time to restore your voice in Washington and to deliver the bright future you want, need, and deserve, not only for you, but for your children and their children. We will not let you down. Mr. President, congressional Republicans are ready to act, to save our country and to make America stronger. I hope you will join us. Thank you, and God bless.
And with that being said, you know the news ain't gonna show y'all this this speech here when he addressed it, the debt crisis in America. Because if you notice on the news, they too busy talking about the Super Bowl, LeBron James. Foolishness shit, y'all, that really don't mean shit. We don't give a damn about that sports shit. We living in fucking turmoil. We don't give a damn about them sports and shit. Well, I know most definitely I don't. I know a lot of people out there going out, spending hundreds of dollars on a fucking Super Bowl. Fucking LeBron James beat Kareem Abdul-Jabbar record, and y'all running around this bitch like we ain't in no type of debt and turmoil. Y'all better wake the fuck up, man. That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all being bamboozled and hoodwinked with foolishness. Then y'all come with a fucking balloon, another fucking gimmick that had the American people talking about foolishness some more. When here Kev telling y'all what's up with this debt, you know what I'm saying? That's what's really going on that they trying to blind y'all from. This debt that they trying to constantly keep spinning. We going to aid this country and aid that country. But yet we got $31 trillion in debt. The American people money. You know what I'm saying? And here it is, we suffering and these other countries living off our back. So yeah, it got to be most definitely a change in the house. And what Kev talking about here, it seems that he's going to do some really cleaning up in that house. You know what I'm saying? He's going to do some real cleaning up in that house because it needs to be cleaned up. You had Obama in there for 8 years. How much stealing he was doing. He ain't do shit for the African-American community. Now you got Biden, the same motherfucker that was fucking Biden, Obama vice president. Now he president. Man, this shit is like a fucking big Barnum and Bailey circus, man. That's all it is, y'all. It's a Barnum and Bailey circus. Barnum and Bailey. They cut Barnum and Bailey circus out because the characters are here in the house now, y'all. And the Democrats. Some Republicans too. It's part of the fucking circus. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to give y'all this speech from the U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy on this debt that they're not speaking about, but blinding y'all with foolishness, Super Bowl and basketball and fucking balloons and shit. And we living in turmoil. Y'all heard the speech from Kev, though. Y'all better wake up, man. Y'all better wake the fuck up. Fuck them football games, basketball games, baseball games. Fuck all that shit, y'all. It's time to wake the fuck up, peoples. Y'all the ones that support these people. Y'all vote half these people in that don't give a damn about you. And with that being said, until the next time, we're going to touch on this on current events. But shout out to Kev, man, McCarthy, for this speech. Shout out to Kev, man. Peace.